Today's show will be a revelation for many women who wonder why they are so tired and can't seem to get the answer from their doctor. There's groundbreaking new science that has identified the hidden cause of your exhaustion. And the good news, it's easy to treat, and we're going to help you diagnose it right now. All you need is this 8-ounce glass of water and your saliva. And I want everyone to do this test at home. Welcoming me is wellness physician and dietitian, Dr. Elizabeth Boham. So, how can saliva be a clue to our exhaustion?
You know, if you have exhaustion and you don't know why, you want to do this test. So when you wake up first thing in the morning, you want to collect the saliva in your mouth before you brush your teeth or eat anything, and you want to spit into that glass. And then let that glass sit there for 15 minutes.
All right, so a little example is over here. Now, ideally, do this first thing in the morning, as Dr. Boham said. I've asked this entire section of the audience over here to take Dr. Boham's advice and to do the saliva test. So go ahead. I'm going to see you expectorate. Spit away. Your mother wouldn't approve, perhaps. Go on, spit, 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 spit. Everyone at home, folks, please get a glass of water and do this right now. I'm not kidding around. You're going to be stunned at what we're going to teach you about your saliva. Simple test. Clear glass of water. Within 30 minutes of waking up, spit into it. Within 15 minutes, you'll be able to analyze your saliva. So, Dr. Boham, what happens in that period of time as your saliva sits on, hopefully on top of the water for most folks?
Yeah, so if it sits on top, then that's a good thing. There's no signs of yeast overgrowth. But if you start to see sediment at the bottom of the glass, or you see these tentacles or spider legs go down into the water, then that's a concern that there's excessive or mucus in your mouth that may be a sign of yeast overgrowth.
So you see the little picture we have in front of you. See how those little tendrils are extending down from the surface of the water? That's because the mucus in your mouth has changed. It's been changed by something very profound. And sometimes it gets so heavy it falls to the very bottom as sediment. And that's the yeast that's causing that. So what's the connection between yeast changing the mucus in your body and exhaustion?
Well, you know, it's normal for us to have some yeast in our body. The concern is when we have too much yeast or yeast overgrowth in our body. And that yeast overgrowth can cause a lot of fatigue because it's like your body is always fighting off this infection. It's a lot of work for the body to fight it off. It can also cause a lot of inflammation in the body, and some people are even allergic to that yeast.
So if your sputum looks like this, you see the little tendrils here that are extending down, that's a clue that we may have this problem. And I'm going to show you an animation, again, just to illustrate what Dr. Boham just said. So inside your intestinal system, deep inside of you, you've got all kinds of different bugs living together. And on that lining of the intestine, you've got bugs that are supposed to be there, like these guys, these colorful little tools, and you've got these little fungi. If the good bacteria die off, the fungus begins to grow, and it literally branches away. And with this, it weakens your body's immune system. It creates a film over your intestinal tract that leaves you unbalanced. Folks, it's all about balance. We're supposed to have bacteria, we're supposed to have yeast, but when they're not balanced, you get one side dominating, then your body is facing a civil war from its inside. So, Dr. Boham, if we're all already having some yeast in our bodies, which we do, then what leads it to suddenly overgrow like that and overwhelm the healthy bacteria that's supposed to protect us?
Well, there's two main causes. The first is the overuse of antibiotics. What I see with my patients is they may be on a lot of antibiotics because of chronic urinary tract infections, or they had acne and they were prescribed a lot of antibiotics, and that results in that good bacteria being killed off and the yeast being able to overgrow.
And tooth infections, a sore throat. There are many reasons we give antibiotics. We often give too many antibiotics. Sometimes, often. More than sometimes, unfortunately, and that's one big issue. And the other?
The other is a poor diet. So if you're eating a diet that's really high in alcohol, refined carbohydrates, sugar, soda, this is going to cause that yeast to overgrow. It feeds the yeast, and it can overgrow in that way.
The audience loves demonstrations, so we're going to do a little demonstration. We built your body. This table is your body. And inside your body, you've got these two populations. You've got good bacteria, and you've got yeast. And they're living together in your intestinal tract, like I just showed in animation. And the yeast and the good bacteria will live in harmony. But when you start to build up good bacteria and yeast in your body, and then you add sugar and carbs, stuff you don't want to have in your body, the cakes, the cookies, the stuff we don't want, the unhealthy diet we warn you about, well, guess what? You end up killing off the bacteria. And when the bacteria die off, there's nothing to balance out the yeast. So the yeast begin to take over the world. Without this kind of, continuous pulling back and forth, the yeast thrive and they grow faster and faster. Anytime the bacteria try to catch up, you take more candy, more sugar, and you beat them back. So nothing holds the yeast back. And this exhausts you because now your body, instead of relying on the bacteria to help them out, their allies, they've got to face this war on their own. And you see this gets ponderously large until it begins to literally spill over into your body.